How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I know it's been a minute. I've been around. I've been trying to build up my other backup channel that many know about. All you got to do is type in Kimberly Santana and you will see you'll see my wallpaper. That's my other backup channel. And sometimes I just kind of chill, observe, and dealing with a couple of issues with the royal family that some know about. But we're going to get focused on retrograde. I am committed to the royal family, to reminding the royal family we are in retrograde. And this mem here says, this Mercury retrograde is going to be brutal. And I was been on the computer for a while, just looking at events around the world and picking and choosing what I was going to show the royal family. And I said, I'll keep it here in the States. We already know in Greece they had a fire and a flood. So let's go back here to retrograde. Now, I said to the royal family, see, retrograde, according to the devil's calendar, started July 25th and begins to taper off August 18th. And I said for the next 3 to 4 weeks are going to be drama. Now, Mercury in retrograde this go round is in the house of Leo. Anytime anything is in the house of Leo, it is fiery in nature. And we've been having some major fires right here in California, specifically right now, Redding, California, which is about 3 hours from me or so. And we've been having some major fires here in California. So y'all know I have showed this. I have left the link to this, and I'll leave the link again if anybody want to study deeper and other people have knowledge about retrograde. So this retrograde is intense. We're going to get into it a little bit more. So remember, in the house of Leo, Leo is a fire sign, which things will be fiery in nature. I told the royal family to expect delays, issues with your computers, any electronical devices, things break down. There's a lot of dissension amongst people. I have been ranting and raving, getting in somebody's ass. And I could be wrong too myself sometimes. Y'all know I'm very humble. Retrograde affects people. So we're just going to get into it. So I did a little bit of backtracking. Now, our last retrograde, there was a terrible bridge collapse in Florida. Y'all remember this? This was the way they designed it and everything, and it just collapsed. And they said this happened in March 15th. So I said, let me go look at the calendar so I could remember. So I went here, March 15th. Mercury was in pre-retrograde, and even in pre, because it's in a staging, and it's the planets are lining up, and it's that magnetic force. Now, remember that these calendars are not accurate. So even though they're saying this is the staging phase when you see green or pre, you already still feel the effects before, according to this calendar, that, oh, we're right in the nucleus, we're right in the heart of retrograde. But since I pay close attention to retrograde, I notice right here that y'all see in green that there's things that happen. And then in yellow is when there's that taper off. But even in the taper off phase, there's still major events that happen. One thing that stood out to me that I'm waiting for, that they said, and it may be happening now because I haven't been really focusing on the government and Trump, but they said here, those in power and authority are likely to make major blunders, resulting in utter chaos in the country. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to have to also focus on more so, because there's so much drama in the world of Trump and in the world of politics itself. So I was focusing on that happened during the last retrograde. So now I'm going to bring the royal family up to the present. So let's see what's going on. Days of rain caused flooding in Maryland. And 2 trees down, bridge buckle, road closed due to heavy rain. So let's watch this 3-minute video.
Overnight for most of Maryland as rain continues to be a major issue. This is what several roads across the area still look like tonight. Water is still rushing down Mount Carmel Road in Upper Cove. Crews continue to work to repair damaged roadways and bridges all over our area. Take a look at this huge tree that toppled tonight on Church Road near Reisterstown. In many cases, tree roots become loose when the ground soaks in just too much water. Rescues and evacuations have been ordered in some areas, and with the rain still in the forecast, the threat for more flooding remains. WJZ has a team of weather reporters tonight. We begin with George Solis, live in Upper Cove, where rising water led to close calls in some areas. George?
Yeah, Mary, this is about the first time all day that we haven't been covered in rain. It's finally stopped, at least for now. We're actually here, like you said, in Upper Cove off Mount Carmel Road. We were actually down the road about half a mile, but had to move once that rain started and that road began to flood. Bad news for some of the work crews that were out here hoping to get a head start on a portion of the road that had washed out, but because of the dangerous conditions, it looks like this portion of the road will remain closed for the time being. After days of dreary and damp weather around Maryland, some around the state are reaching their breaking points.
I'm annoyed with it. I wish it would just go away. Like, can you stop? Like, for real?
Tuesday evening, a small reprieve from the rain, but bodies of water like Peggy's Run in Upper Cove, Baltimore County still raging from earlier downpours. Along Mount Carmel Road, this bridge over the stream unable to withstand the rushing water.
It's flooded many times before, coming up almost to the bottom of the guardrail, but never has wiped out the bridge before. But I guess this was just the last straw that took it all out.
Jamie Dalglish's parents sharing these images of the damage shortly after it happened with WJZ. You really start to get a sense of just how powerful the current was here based on the curvature of the vegetation. Impacted homeowners here tell me they're being told it could take at least a week, if not longer, to repair the damage here. Workers telling us they're prepared to work through the night if necessary. Overall, what is your impression of this right now?
It's amazing. It's just, like I said, Mother Nature is a force to be reckoned with.
In Lutherville, the owners of Bozzuto Green Art sharing this video with WJZ of Deep Run when it flooded, causing a mild panic for business owners. Earlier in the day, this was the scene in nearby Sparks, a more than century-old tree toppling over onto a home. The ground so wet, the roots could no longer hang on.
Inside, we have water damage from the attic all the way down to here, where you can see the buckets.
Swift water rescue teams have also been busy. This one jumping into action after a Baltimore County school bus with a special needs student on board got stuck along a road next to the Gunpowder River. With more rain expected, there's concern it may not be the last rescue this unusually soggy month. Now, Mary, the good news here is that a lot of the heavy machinery is already down the road, so if these drier conditions hold out, work on the road could begin as early as tomorrow morning. Now, impacted homeowners here are just grateful.
Okay, my royal family, one thing that I want to remind the the royal family is that the other component is that the events that we are going to see, and they don't necessarily have to be Mercury in retrograde, but it just seems that when Mercury is in retrograde, things are even more intense and more noticeable. But the other component that I wanted to add is that what we will continue to see in these last seconds when it comes to unquote natural disasters, they will be in biblical proportions. Pay attention to language. You know, people are astounded. Oh, this tree been here over 100 years. Huh. You know. And then you also got to remember, in the enemy's mind, they think when they build whatever they build are going to last forever. So they have, it's like this. Overall, they don't believe in God, but they have a God complex. And then they don't respect Mother Nature. And a lot of them know about this. And still in their mind, they think that they can supersede Mother Nature. Oh no. And it's so much and it's so broad that all I can do is just report whatever I can report, because I would be up here forever. And I've already went through the part of you don't have to fear retrograde. You need to respect retrograde, and you can use retrograde in your favor. But now I'm just reporting retrograde, the events during retrograde, because we in it, where you see how brutal retrograde can be. That this is beyond any of us when we are talking about Mother Nature. So, up here in my neck of the woods, there has been major biblical proportions fires in California. That's biblical. I ain't never seen nothing like that in person. When I would see that, I would be, wow. But our Father is slow and methodical. You know. And y'all remember the fires that we had last year. So, let's listen to this. Not going to listen to it all, but we're going to listen to some of it. Because it's 21 minutes.
Thank you, Mike, and good afternoon. Obviously, difficult day here, difficult several days in Shasta County. And first off, obviously, our hearts and thoughts are all with the families of the two firefighters who lost their lives fighting this fire here last night during a very difficult firefight. There are a lot of people working the fire lines today who have either lost homes, have family members who have lost homes, or certainly have been evacuated. And just some Herculean efforts overnight between law enforcement, firefighters, and many others to pull people from harm's way and do what they could to engage on this fire. 2018, it's really off to the same difficult, challenging firefight that we've seen in 2017 and before that 2016. The last 5 or 6 years in California, we've been experiencing the effects of our long-standing drought. The rain that we had really did nothing to impact the character of the vegetation, which is critically dry. And that's what happened here. And we've added additional grass from the rains we did get, and we've got the kindling. And what we're seeing, not just here in Shasta County, but literally statewide, fires that are growing exponentially. Right now, we're averaging about 45 to 50 fires a day throughout California. And currently, we're working 3 major fires the Cranston fire in Riverside County, the Ferguson fire in Mariposa County near Yosemite, and this here, the Carr fire. But we also have a number of new emerging extended attack fires across the state, from San Diego to Mendocino County today. So we continue to be extremely busy, moving resources, coordinating. Our first priority always is the initial attack of new fires. If we can keep them small, that's our priority. And so resources are being moved throughout the day, every day in California, state, local, federal, coordinated very closely to ensure we're covering fire stations and getting resources, both ground resources and air resources, where they need to be. There are over 7,000 firefighters on the fire lines right now. That number will grow in the coming days. Our weather forecast, we don't see any significant change. Over the next 7 days, we are looking at continued hot temperatures, low humidities, and we're not seeing necessarily relief from that over, again, the next 7 to 10 days. So what that means is obviously the potential for new fire starts, also means fatigue on firefighters, and it means challenging conditions to work in. Those are all things that we're looking at. As we go forward, our priorities on all these fires are life and property protection, number one. After that, we're trying to ensure critical infrastructure is protected. As folks know, here in Shasta County, in the area where this fire is burning, critical infrastructure such as power lines, roadways, other elements that are all part of not just Shasta County, but that influence the power grid and things throughout California. We're also working very closely to ensure that evacuations and the process. The incident management team is in place, working very closely with the sheriff's office, ensuring there are trigger points and all the things in place, should things change in this fire. And this fire is a long way from being done. We're anticipating, again, weather conditions today no different than what occurred over the last 2 days. We're seeing fires occur. There were literally almost what can be described as a tornado occurred over this fire yesterday. This fire was whipped up into a whirlwind of activity, uprooting trees, moving vehicles, moving parts of roadways, very significant extreme winds that are challenging for firefighters and obviously putting both the public and firefighters at risk. So at the end of the day, bottom line, we say it time and time again, but I'm going to say it and you're going to hear it from everybody here. These are extreme conditions. This is how fires are burning in California. We need to take heed, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Pay very close attention to social media, websites, local television and radio broadcasts, a lot of information coming out from trusted sources here with the sheriff's office, CAL FIRE locally, your local television and radio and websites. Leave early. Don't wait till you see the fire. Please, when you're asked to leave, leave. Leave before you're asked to leave. We don't want to put anybody else in peril, and we want folks to be able to safely leave the area. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the Director of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, Mark.
All right, my royal family. I thought I would play a bit of that so y'all could get a broader view of what is happening in California. So here I'll play a little bit more here.
The devastation is beginning to set in for people in Redding, California. The aptly named Carr Fire, which officials say was first sparked by a vehicle, has ravaged the region since Monday and doubled in size in just the last 12 hours.
It's taken out a lot.
Deadly and out of control, it has charged some 45,000 acres as firefighters try to contain it. Wow. In some neighborhoods, the difference between a home spared and a home scorched is just a few feet.
I have no idea what we're going to do tomorrow. Hell, we don't know what we're going to do tonight.
Dominic Galvin and his wife Sylvia never imagined they'd see their house like this.
We didn't think the fire was going to come here, so we didn't really take things out. Like everybody else that was scrambling at the last minute to get out when we saw the fire on the ridge.
Officials say extreme temperatures and strong winds make this fire all the more fierce. It is one of 3 major blazes burning across the state and one of 88 across the country.
This is that new normal, that unpredictability, the large explosive growth fires.
Sadly, scenes like this are becoming the new normal worldwide. as temperatures rise due to climate change. In Greece, experts say extreme summer heat accelerated the suspected arson fire that turned these iconic whitewashed hillsides black with ash. The flames rose so quickly, some families ran into the sea for relief.
The temperature was so high, so nobody could do anything. As you can see, houses, cars, everything destroyed.
The Greek fires have claimed more than 80 lives so far. In just the last few weeks, more than 3,400 daily high temperature records have been broken or tied, including unprecedented numbers in the north. Montreal, Canada at 92, and in the Sahara Desert, thermometers peaked at a deadly 124 degrees this month. So are we ready for triple-digit temperatures and their consequences to go from extreme to expected? Here in Redding, the answer is no.
It seems like part of my life is gone. There's nothing.
All right, my royal family.
If you're in your home or business and you smell gas, your first step is...
Shut that down. So, let me go back here as I close out. So it's brutal in nature. And in these last seconds, my royal family, and I'm talking to the people, I'm talking to everyone, but especially to the people that are very well versed in the word. I need scriptures, prophecy, curses will continue to be rendered down. If you notice, these fires has been going on for the last few years, and all these natural disasters, they are mostly happening in areas where people are wealthy. And Judgment Day is pretty much like here, but our Father has a way of working. So I think some people think, oh, bam, it'll just come overnight. See, the chosen ones, the punishment that we have had to deal with, our Father made it very long. He was very methodical and slow with it, so we would never forget. And I thank Lioness because we studied the book of Obadiah. It was very exciting, and I did some of my own, then listened to some other videos about it and how the other races of people have stood idly by and prosper from the chosen ones. And just watch us continue to be slaughtered in the streets of America. And it's like, well, that'll never affect me. As long as I'm getting what I'm getting, you know. Because this country is all about greed. Now, my husband said something really, really deep to me. I was telling him about the blood rivers and the blood rain. And he said to me yesterday, he said, that is our blood. I was like, wow, that is deep. That is our blood. Can you imagine that, my royal family? Those few videos that I showed, that they're going to see our blood that has soaked in the soil of the world, not just America, but we're just going to focus on America right now. Can you imagine actually seeing the sight of our blood, the slaughter of the chosen ones, and how nature speaks volumes? Mother Nature, our mother. She's not balanced, and her children are not balanced. Remember, we are the most vibrational people on this planet. We are chosen, and we continue to hurt, and the enemy continues to subjugate us. We are still in full bondage. So as we are coming out, as we are waking up, I said it wouldn't be pretty. The things that all of us will see, the things that all of us will experience. So you hear these other folks that's shocked, that live comfortable in their dwellings. Think, why is this happening to me? You sit idly by and thumb your nose at the chosen ones. And you have taken joy at our pain. You have taken joy at our labor. You have taken joy at ridiculing, subjugating us. And you're so evil. You have not only disrespected the chosen ones, you have literally disrespected earth, stripping earth of all its wealth. And just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Man don't know how to stop. So the divine hand is truly at work. Truly at work, my royal family. So all we can continue to do is get our house in order. Last thing I want to say as I'm closing out. I had a deep conversation with Brenda. And as I was having this conversation, I was saying I can picture God having counsel, or unquote having court. And I can picture the angels. Just close your eyes. I can picture the angels appealing on our behalf. And our Father has just been done. I say, I'm going to render it all down. I'm going to make it all over right now. And the angels are appealing. Yeah, give them a chance to get their house in order. And as these sins arising to the highest of the highest heavens, disgusting, vile things that all of us do, and the angels doing counsel or appealing to our Father, He's tired of everybody's shit. And the angels continue to appeal for us. That's what I was imagining. Speaking in our behalf. Saying, well, there are souls that are coming. There are people that are trying to get in their house in order. I really had that imagination. I said, that would be heavy. Could you imagine witnessing that? That these divine angels having counsel with our Father and appealing on all of our behalf to get our house in order as these disgusting sins, literally, there's that many sins in this universe. And we have an entity, a spirit that is so divine that they are appealing so we can get this thing back in balance. That's my imagination. And it could be true. I'm not expecting the royal family to agree everything that I'm saying. I'm just speaking what's on my heart. So anyway, my royal family, there will be more, and I will point out more things during retrograde. So anyway, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.